Companies spend billions of dollars to get us to sign up, giving us high limits, hoping that we swipe, miss our payments, and then owe them money. Only on flights across the United States will you hear a 3-minute announcement trying to get you to sign up for a new credit card. Now, here's the thing. If we just swipe our cards and pay our bills, it would be one thing. But that is not what is happening here. The average American has a credit card balance of over $5,000. See, credit card debt just hit an all-time high, passing $1 trillion. And Gen X is the worst generation of them all. That's the age group between 43 and 58. On average, Gen X owes more than $9,000, followed by a close tie between millennials and boomers, who owe on average about $6,500. Now, the average American has almost 4 credit cards, while the average person in the UK has 1.3. Meanwhile, credit card marketing is more tightly controlled in Canada compared to the US. Canadian regulations mandate clear and upfront disclosures of interest rates and fees. And see, this perpetual cycle of debt we're in is not just limited to credit cards. Right now, more than half of Americans cannot cover an unexpected $1,000 expense. But the craziest part about all of this might not be totally bad. Because isn't this the same credit-based economy that fuels the American economy, the largest one in the world? Today, I'm gonna break this down into 3 parts. First, why is the US so credit obsessed and why it's both good and bad? Second, how did America get here and how does it compare to other countries around the world? And finally, what does the more recent surge in debt mean for you and the economy? So why is the US so credit obsessed? Right now, rising costs of groceries, gas, and everyday essentials are forcing many people to rely on credit cards to make ends meet. US food prices are 25% higher in 2019, but wages did not rise as fast. And then there's housing. See, in 2022, the median sale price for a single family home was 5.6 times higher than the median household income. That's higher than at any point on record, 5.6 times higher. Because even before the pandemic, a home was just 4.1 times higher than the median household income. And right now, it's a great time to be a credit card company because when times get tough, Americans swipe their cards. American Express, Visa, and MasterCard have all reported record earnings lately. And that is their entire business. Credit card companies aggressively market with tempting rewards programs and easily available credit lines to 18-year-olds, making it super easy to overspend and even easier to forget that you opened a credit card that needs to be paid off. But is America's credit obsession a bad thing? It depends on how you look at it all. See, all of this spurs economic activity. Credit cards, loans, and mortgages allow customers and businesses to make purchases that they may have not been able to afford up front. And this increased spending drives demand for goods and services, which ultimately keeps businesses running and workers employed. Businesses are using credit to expand, invest, and manage cash flow. And this is actually important for economic growth as businesses create jobs and contribute to the overall economy. So then what is the downside here? Well, first there's the debt trap. High interest rates and overspending can lead to a cycle of debt that's difficult to escape. And this can cause financial stress, limit future opportunities, and negatively impact overall well-being. I mean, just imagine how many millions of people lose sleep over paying off their credit cards. Second, there's income inequality. Easy access to credit can exacerbate income inequality. Wealthy individuals can leverage credit investments and opportunities, but those struggling financially may rely on their credit card just to maintain their standard of living. And finally, there's economic vulnerability. See, too much reliance on credit can make an entire economy vulnerable to economic downturns. If people can't repay their debts during a recession, it can actually lead to bank failures and hinder economic recovery. Let's not forget the 2008 housing crisis, which was largely due to widespread issuance of subprime mortgages. These were loans that were given to borrowers with literally poor credit histories or low incomes. So you can see how this can become a problem. While credit used responsibly can be a powerful tool for financial growth, the current situation in the US with rising credit debt and a significant portion of the population just struggling to manage it, well, that raises concerns. See, yes, the US has a consumer-driven culture. Spending beyond one's means is often normalized, but many Americans rely on credit cards just to maintain their lifestyle, whether it's purchasing luxury items, going out to eat too much, or taking vacations. And if you think about it, there's hardly no formal financial literacy for kids in schools unless you really go and seek it out. And Visa and Amex want to keep it that way because that's what keeps them filthy rich. Get this, the average credit card interest rate in the US is around 25%. Imagine 25%. So for every $1,000 you spend, you might have to pay $250 additionally if you don't pay it on time. And there's more. This isn't the only place that credit card companies hit you with high fees. Late payment fees can add to another $30 or $40 on top of your interest charges. Oh, and let's say you want to use your card abroad while traveling, foreign transaction fees can tack on an additional 1 to 3% of your purchase price too. See, here's the thing, I've always wondered how I can pay American Express $700 a year for my Platinum card, but then in turn get back thousands of dollars in value from free flights with my points, shopping perks, or just using my credit card points on my credit card charges. Like, I pay $700 a year for this card, but I can get $2,000 to pay off my card. Now, obviously, Amex gets a small percentage every time I swipe the card from the merchants, but the truth is that the people that are missing their payments are the ones that subsidize the perks that people enjoy. Journalists even reported on this, literally stating that America's poor foot much of the bill for credit card points, miles, and cash back. So, like, half the people you see in those luxury airport lounges can thank some guy who keeps missing his payment and is paying an insane amount on interest. It's kind of insane. Okay, so how does the US compare to other countries, and how did America get here? While other countries also have credit card debt, they're generally lower. See, in Canada, they have a much healthier credit card situation. The average Canadian household carries around $2,000 in credit card debt. That's a fraction of what Americans owe. This might be due to stricter regulations for credit card marketing and also higher interest rates that deter excessive borrowing. Down under in Australia, it's a similar story. While Aussies use credit cards more frequently, they're more likely to pay their balance in full each month and keep their debt in check. Okay, so how did America get here? Well, to answer that, we need to go back nearly 100 years. The first stage was the early seeds, we'll call them. This was between 1930s and 1950s. While plastic wasn't the norm yet, the concept of credit cards began sprouting around 1930s. Department stores and gas companies issued metal tokens or paper slips that allowed customers to charge purchases. Then it was the Diners Club revolution. So in 1950, a businessman named Frank McNair was frustrated by mounting restaurant bills on business trips. He had a revolutionary idea for a card that could be accepted at multiple restaurants. So the Diners Club was the first charge card that was born. And this was a game changer because it paved the way for a more universal credit system. After that, the plastic age dawned. American Express brought out the first plastic credit card in 1959, making it lighter and more convenient to carry. Bank of America followed suit, which later evolved into Visa, which became the first successful bank-issued credit card with revolving credit, meaning you only had to pay a minimum payment each month. This was a major turning point because it allowed people to spread out their payments over time. Buy now, think about the results later. Then came the marketing boom. Credit card companies realized the power of persuasion. They launched aggressive marketing campaigns touting convenience and rewards programs. This, along with the growing culture of consumerism, led to a significant increase in credit card use. And then the past 30 or 40 years, deregulation in the credit card industry. So during the 1980s, they made it easier for people to qualify for cards, even those with less than stellar credit history. And yes, this has increased access to credit, but it also opened the door for potential overspending and debt problems. Now combine all of this with rising living costs and higher interest rates, and America's credit card problem begins to snowball. In fact, today the US grapples with a significant amount of credit card debt. The factors that fueled the initial boom continue to play a role, with credit card companies constantly refining their marketing tactics. Now the challenge lies in promoting responsible credit use and ensuring financial literacy to prevent people from getting trapped in a cycle of debt, which, remember, companies have no actual incentive to prevent you from getting trapped in that cycle of debt. But in the final part of this video, I want to talk about the massive increase in debt and what it means for you and the economy. I mean, does debt even matter? Well, yes. High levels of credit card debt can have a significant consequence on individuals in the broader economy. See, too much debt can pose systematic risks to the economy, especially in times of economic downturns when people struggle to meet their financial obligations, and that can lead to ripple effects across different sectors. So to address this issue, governments and financial regulators have implemented a few different things. There's consumer protection laws, which are regulations aimed at curbing predatory lending practices and ensuring transparency in credit card agreements, and that can help customers from falling into debt traps. And governments and non-government organizations often offer financial literacy programs to educate people on borrowing, but I feel like that's hardly working. Now, there are interest rate caps. This is where some jurisdictions can impose limits on the interest rates that credit card issuers can charge. This aims to prevent really high rates that can trap consumers in the debt cycle. But unlike the early 2020s when stimulus payments helped people pay down their credit card balances, they're now on the rise again. So let me know what you think about America's credit card problem below. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. And if you've enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe so I can keep making more videos like this.